Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
We are live, we are recording, and we love to have your cameras on so we can see you. It's just a better way to engage. The more you engage, the more you're going to learn. Um, and you also get to know people. And there's some people on tonight you definitely going to want to get to know. And I just want to mention a couple right now. Brianna Latham is on. So Brianna, good to see you. Brianna's been on the team since,
Hello.
yeah, nice to see you, Brianna. Good call today too. So guys, Brianna's been on the team nearly from the beginning. And when I first met her, I knew right away, I identified her as a leader. And sure enough, she just set the world on fire in terms of production and agent attraction. At one time, she was voted top 5 in Nashville. That's a hard thing to accomplish. And she also served for the National Real Estate Brokers. Actually, Brianna, what was the exact organization? I think you were a vice president for a bit.
Yes, I was the vice president for Nashville chapter, National Association of Real Estate Brokers,
There
and
you go.
I've been on the legislative committee for the NAR version here
Mhm.
in Nashville. So I just got appointed to a 2-year term to do the policy papers for the organization.
Awesome. Well, you and Lou are probably going to get along really, really well.
No doubt.
In
Sounds like
fact,
a
guys,
plan.
Okay.
let's do this, guys. We're going to talk about the walkabout tonight, okay? But Lou's on, so I want to have Lou give him the microphone for a moment. And for those of you who don't know Lou, you get to know a little bit about Lou. And Lou and I are working on something very special together. But he also has an event coming up in March. I wanted Lou to talk about that too. So Lou, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and take a few moments and introduce yourself for those who don't know you, and then talk about the event and also what you and I are working on together, if you don't mind.
That sounds like a plan, man. Thank you, Gary. Well, it's just an honor to be here present with folks that are in Gary's presence. Gary is amazing, and he is really just, entrepreneur extraordinaire. Uh, he and I really align so much in so many things that we believe in. And one of the things really is that we believe that real estate agents can make a lot of money as agents, and they can make a lot more money investing in real estate. So whenever you have the opportunity that you're going on a listing call, when you can say to the seller, congratulations, I just wanted to let you know that your house is sold today. And they say, what do you mean your house is sold? My house is sold today. And well, I'm going to make a presentation to you. And if you like what you see, we're going to actually go ahead and buy your house today. You don't have to worry about, kids walking through and having to clean up the house all the time and showings and leaving the house while the house is being shown and all of that stuff, because we're going to actually buy your house today. So it's something that I really believe in, that you guys have a leg up with your license, that you really have an opportunity to go the complete round, because if they turn you down on buying the house, well, you just go ahead and list the house. And then if they get beat up by the market, you're still there and you're still ready, willing, and able to buy the house. So it just makes a whole lot of sense to take advantage of what you have to really create things, and not only to make money by buying the house and then selling it, which of course everybody talks about wholesaling and flipping. We believe in flipping slow instead of flipping fast, and we give people the opportunity to someday own the home. That gives us an opportunity to mark up the property and get about a 30 to 50% additional profit over and above what it would have been as a flip, because we create an opportunity for people to have home ownership. And with the home ownership, that allows us to charge a premium price for the property, as well as get down payment money from the people, as well as get dependable, predictable monthly income after they move in, and eventually get paid on the back end when they buy the house. So it's kind of like a have your cake and eat it too plan. And Gary wanted me to share with you that we have a 3-day event coming up, and it's called Millionaire Jumpstart. You can learn more about it at millionairejumpstart.com/Gary. And when you go there, you can find out that I have a very low cost training for 3 days to actually walk you through who we are, what we do, how we operate, and how you can do it too. And when you do it too, you have a big opportunity, because it's kind of a flip the script on real estate. It's find the buyer before you even buy the real estate. So you've got customers in your pipeline, you know how much down payment they have, how much they can afford on a monthly basis. And then you go about literally custom buying a property for them at below market. So we talk about and teach you creative financing on buying that property, buying it right, buying it cheap, buying by taking over the existing financing on the property. And then not only that, now you have a property that you can sell to your customer at a premium and get a nice income or spread on that property over a long period of time. So I just said a whole bunch of stuff, but but it's to really give you some insight that there's a lot of opportunity out there. And what I just shared with you, I've been doing for over 40 years, buying, holding, and selling property. In fact, on Wednesday, we're buying 2 properties, and we already have both of them sold. So that's kind of like the best of all worlds. We'll get down payment money from the folks that are moving in, and we'll get an income stream, as you know, for a long period of time, and eventually become the bank for those customers as well. So it's kind of a thing where Gary and I are working together to guide you guys through a path of really dependable, predictable monthly income, which is kind of a rarity for a lot of real estate agents. They don't have the opportunity to get that dependable, predictable income part, because it's typically much like a roller coaster for real estate agents. So we like to share with you the rest of the story, which is you become the bank for your customers and you get that dependable income over time. How does that sound, Gary?
That was really good.
That was off
No,
the cuff, off the top of my head, but
there you
thank
go.
you, sir. Thank you, Dutch. That event is going to be March 8, 9, and 10, and it's going to be in Atlanta. And we're going to have 2 options for you. You can come live, which is by far the preference, when you can come in person live and network with other folks and like-minded folks. It makes a whole lot of sense. And we're also going to have it online as well, so the live streaming. So you really do have 2 options. And just check it out at millionairejumpstart.com/Gary. And we've got a special deal for you there that really makes a lot of sense, when you can leave with a binder full of documents, my best documents that have been developed over 30 years of, you know, just honing and let's see, I think I started teaching in 1985. So if that tells you anything, we've been working on the system for many years, and it has really made a lot of people not only millionaires, but multimillionaires. I'm proud to say. I love the fact that people have been able to run with our system and make a fortune with it, and be able to have an asset and a business that they can pass on as a legacy to their kids and their grandkids as well. So I've actually been around long enough to see that happen too.
Yeah. And guys, I just want to tell you, I mean, even on tonight's call, there's at least 3 people I know that are in or have been in Lou's program before: Eric, Dutch, and Karen. And I also know Kay Peck uses it. She just used it, by the way, to get a property. Kay Peck did in
Yep.
Texas. Let's see,
I'm
Liz
seeing
Corella.
Camille
What's
Duke
that?
on here from Florida. I'm seeing Camille on here.
Oh, okay. Hey, Camille.
And Karen Green from Pennsylvania. She's here.
Yep.
Awesome. Great to see all of you. And
Yep.
Eric Rosner from Connecticut. Great to see you, my friend. He's wearing his certified affordable housing provider. Yeah, baby. Wear it proudly. Wear it proudly.
I have to bring up one thing. Lou gave me marching orders last night. I did do what you asked me to do. I'm waiting for an answer, just so you know.
Awesome. Awesome. Glad to hear that, Karen.
Hey,
Taking action as usual. Taking action.
Just
Causes.
thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, perfect.
If I might, here's a testimonial. We on this call are two of the best mentors in the real estate business, but Lou Brown by far. I know a lot of creative real estate people. This guy is at the top of the mountain, and he's the guy that all the others go to. So you're learning from the best. So anytime you come have a situation, he's the go-to guy. And he's humble and the most approachable person. And if you have a chance to go to a live event, he is a fantastic host.
Thank you, Eric. I sure do appreciate that unsolicited testimonial.
And you know, it's also funny because we were talking about this last week, Lou, but I ended up with you because of Gary.
Ah,
Eric ended up with Gary because of you.
how about that? Good
How about
stuff.
that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
We even look alike too, I think.
I
Yeah,
know.
that too.
You could be
That's a
twins.
compliment for me. Somebody said you look like Lou. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's a compliment.
Thank you.
But yeah. Hey,
And
guys, I just want-
Brianna, she came on
Yep.
camera. How are you? Yes.
Yep.
Great to
Good.
know you. And you're in Nashville?
I'm in Nashville, so I'm right now trying to figure out how I'm going to get to Atlanta for the conference.
That's a brilliant move. That's a brilliant move. It's only a 4-hour drive.
Yeah,
No big deal.
no, 3 if you
Someday-
drive like my mother.
Yeah.
Yep, just slip on down there. It's a beautiful move. We always have the event close to the airport for folks that fly in so they can be picked up by the shuttle and just shuttle on over. And we'll be sequestered for 3 days. We don't play. We get started at 8:30 in the morning. We take an hour for lunch and we take 15-minute breaks and we end about 7:30 at night. I value your time highly and we want to give you as much information as we can. So be prepared for that too.
Yeah. And Lou, I forgot to mention this earlier when I was introducing Brianna. She's going to be going into building her own team through our mentoring through Gina and I. And yep.
Wow.
So it's one of the things on our team that we do is we help our team members build their own teams. And I think she'll be the 6th person to do that, which is an amazing.
Wow.
It's when you help build others up, you know, you automatically build yourself up. Just a very fulfilling thing to do. And Brianna, I couldn't think of a better person than Brianna to do that, you know. So
Help
because of-
others get what they want and they will help you get what you want. There's no doubt about it. That's a good plan.
Yeah, Gary's
So-
definitely a servant's heart. So
the servant leader. Yeah, that's I always tell
Servant leader.
people. I'm not the hero, I'm the guide, and you're the hero, you know. So we're gonna make you guys heroes. And so guys, we want to jump into the subject tonight, but also just one more thing here. This is why this relationship is so critically important. The way the market is going, as you know, our team is in 38 states. Lou covers all the states. We're getting close. So the collaboration of us two together is a perfect match. We've got the agents who serve the clients, both investors and non-investors. And Lou's material guys, you can use yourself for your own property acquisitions and for investing or personal use. You can use it for your clients, okay? And if your clients take Lou's program, you get a special recognition reward for that, okay? That means something. I've been a recipient of that. We're not talking punk change here, you know? We're talking the kind of money that can pay your mortgage payment.
Very serious. That's right.
Serious.
Very serious.
Telling you
I'll
guys.
share one more thing, Gary, too.
Yep.
Brianna, your servant's heart made me think about everyone who comes to the event gets this book. It's called Doing Good While Doing Well: How Real Estate Investors Provide a Service and Make a Difference. So we're in our 5th printing of this book now. I'm proud to say Amazon.com, international bestseller, all of that good stuff. And everyone who comes to the event gets a copy for themselves. So another reason to come live and in person too.
Yeah. Yeah.
A couple people have asked for the link. I just put it in. It's millionairejumpstart.com/Gary.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Eric. Hey guys, we'll put that in the email that comes out tomorrow from Beverly. Keep an eye out for that because it'll have the recording and it'll have that link in there for Lou's event too. And and I just want to say one more thing. First off, 2 things. If you guys want to hang around when I get done with tonight's curriculum, which is called the Walkabout, and Lou does a variation of that too, by the way. So how about that for Coincidink? Hang out because Lou said he would hang out and do some Q&A with you guys and maybe show you a few things. You guys want to do that? Stay after class. We'll stay an extra half hour if you want. I would definitely do it. And if you think about it, I've been in business a long time, almost as much as long as Lou. I've known a lot of awesome coaches and teachers, but Lou is the only one that I'm doing this with. No other. Okay. So that's a huge, and this is one I definitely endorse. I've seen it myself. I've witnessed it. I know people personally who make a lot of money using what he uses for themselves as investing and helping others. So keep that in mind. Definitely take it seriously. And as this market changes, it's going to be an integral part of your offering to the public. I promise you, just embrace that because it's something in your tool chest that nobody else will have. Okay.
Amen. That's a good one.
Yep. So let's jump into tonight's curriculum, guys. It's called a walkabout. Just a brief review of the year so far. We started off with you getting your records, your contact records on your database, KV Core, okay, and setting up a monthly market update for them so they all have something coming from you every single month without fails, totally automated, totally free, and it gives them market information around their house. It's so smart. It knows where everybody lives and gives them the market data for their area, what's active, what's pending, and what's sold, as well as the statistics, the the list price versus the sale price, the all those how days on market, all those things that savvy homeowners and investors want to see. You do that automatically. And then the third thing was set you up with your call schedule for calling your prospects on a regular basis. Those 3 things are the building blocks of a solid real estate business foundation. So what we're getting into now as of last week is additional marketing to take advantage of that. Last week, if you weren't there, hopefully you have the recording. If you don't have the recording, just let me know. I'll send you the recording, or anybody here, Eric and Karen can get that to you also. You want to listen up because we showed you how to use our lead gen system with one of our proprietary letters. Our stuff's all copyright protected, so only you guys will have it, right? To reach out to these owners and show them the why they might want to sell right now. So that was last week. This week, we're going to switch gears and go into a feet on the ground grassroots type of an effort called a walkabout. And a walkabout is sort of a hybrid of door knocking and circle prospecting. And we take the best of both of those to make a new strategy that we came up with on our own several years ago. And we've used it. We've had several people on the team using the walkabout. And now's the time of year to prepare. So I just want to paint a picture here of the consumer's mindset right now. Let's just talk about owner occupants. All right. It's mid-February. Now, there are millions of people around the country right now questioning, should I sell my house this year? Should I sell my house this year? And they're thinking, I probably put it on the market in the springtime. But when do they start thinking of that? Do they think about it when April comes, April 15th, tax time? Or do you start thinking about it months in advance? They're thinking about it right now, right? They're filing their taxes, they're looking ahead. This is the time to capture them and tap into the thinking that's already going on inside their mind, right? And all you want to do is offer them a solution. You don't have to do the hard sell right now. Right now, you want to make contact. give them a reason to reach out to you by offering them something of value, like a free home evaluation. And you would say, look, I'm not saying you should sell your house if you don't want to, but let's just find out what it would sell for. You know, everybody wants to know what their house would sell for. We don't say what it's worth. We ask them, you know, tell them what it would sell for. Sell for is the key phrase there. It's called an embedded command. So in any case, back to this. In order to prepare for that seasonal phenomenon that occurs every single spring, it's the peak season. You look at any real estate business person's uh, financial statement, and you're going to see more income coming in April through, probably into June. In August, believe it or not, July is often a slow month because everybody's on vacation. It's the 1 month everybody's off school. Right in August, it picks back up again. It goes through up until Thanksgiving. We're always in business. And by the way, investors, there is no off season for investors. Investors are always in the game, 12 months out of the year, 365 days. So what we're doing now is preparing for that phenomenon so that we have front of mind presence. These consumers will think of you first when it comes time to sell their house. So here's how this works. You've all seen our team letter and a bunch of letters on our relief flow system. We have booklets and things like that. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring 2 of those up right now. Let me grab them and I'm going to share my screen. We've been sending these out because we have agents on the team that have been here for quite a while, and they know the drill. They know this is the time of year to do this. So let me bring this up. There they are, and I'm going to share my screen right about now. Okay. It's loading. The system's loading the flyer. There's a flyer and a booklet. Okay. It's trying to, just like the squirrel's running out of gas there. Here we go. Okay. This is a flyer. Whoops, I just had it up there. Now, this is the short, simple version. This particular one here was created by a guy named David Everts. And David Everts now lives up in the state of Maine and helps, he counsels people who are in recovery. So he's living his life's purpose, and being real estate was part of his journey to get there. He's at a beautiful place on the water. And I'm telling you, you can do the same thing if you leverage real estate properly and consistently, it'll position you to live your life stream too. Well, let's take a look at this flyer. All right. First thing is, he has the contact information right up top. It gives you the title of what it is, your neighborhood market activity report. And then he gives you a little bit of a hook, like why should you be looking at this flyer? So now this was created a little over 2 years ago, right? And he's saying right now, active single family homes, there are none available. In other words, inventory is tight, just like it is today. There's just not a lot out there on the open market. There's all kinds of off market deals, but on market deals it's like the lowest volume we've seen in over 30 years. So in any case, it means it's a seller's market, strongest seller's market in 20 years. Now, I will tell you, I have some stats I'm going to show you here when we're done with the curriculum to show you how the market is actually starting to change. Not everywhere, but in certain areas. And it's the areas where it's changing you have to keep an eye on, because these are the areas that always change first, and then it moves across the country. So in any case, and he right away makes his offer for a free, no obligation home valuation. Call me, text me, what have you. Now he goes into the data, right? And this was up in the Panhandle of Florida, near Destin area. And he first shows people what's under contract. And as you can see there, there's probably maybe 12 to 15, my best guess there from looking at that. Shows you what's under contract. It's pending. Then he shows what's sold. Okay, and that looks like that's just about 10 or 12, right? And you can see the list price and the sold price. Look at how tight that market is. Everything is literally selling for list price or above, right? Amazing. And then he gives us, he has a, oops, sorry, I moved too fast. Then there's a final reminder of why this is important. We're truly one of the most unique sellers markets in history, record low inventory, record low interest rates. If you've ever been considering selling your home, Now is a great time to get a thorough free, no obligation home evaluation. He gets his contact information again. First time he did this, and I forget the number of homes he visited, but he got 2 deals out of it. In fact, I don't think it was that many. He did it in a half a day. He handled these out in a neighborhood in a half a day. Now, what we do is this. First off, some legal stuff. You're not allowed to put this in a mailbox. You can get in trouble for that, right? And you're easy to find because your name and numbers on these things. So U.S. Postal Service says we can't put anything in a mailbox unless it went through the U.S. mail. So what we do is we stick it in the door jamb, the storm door, or if there's a man door beside a garage, you can use like painter's tape to tape it there. But better yet, why not go and do this on a Saturday, like a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, or maybe a Sunday afternoon, so you can catch people outside, walking the dog, playing with their kids, washing the car, cutting the grass, raking leaves, shoveling snow. You know, go when they're going to be active. Okay. It is nicer in the warmer months, or if you're living in the South, it's nice all the time. But the reality is successful people, champions, winners, don't wait till the weather's perfect. They go out there when everybody else is waiting it out. I'll wait till April when the weather's nice. When you wait till April, all those decisions have already been made, guys. You got to catch them now. So I would start this. I'm just going to give you your instruction. After tonight, you've got a week and a half, well, 10 days essentially left in February. I suggest you create your booklet and or your flyer. Flyer is going to be less expensive. And I'll show you the booklet here next. Pick your farm area. I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. Okay, how do you pick the area you're going to farm and hit the ground running? I mean, literally hit the ground running. And I can't emphasize how important that is. And you've got plenty of veterans on the Zoom call tonight on the team that'll tell you how important this is. Timing is everything. And successful people don't wait till everybody else is taking action. You've got to be out there 5 minutes earlier than everybody else. That's the euphemism. You got to be out there a month before everybody else. You should make at least 2 complete rounds of your neighborhood before April hits. Okay. Because once April hits and those yard sales start and the garage sales start, you're going to have some competition. I'm telling you. So beat them to the punch. That's what successful agents do, right? So any questions so far, guys? If you have questions, absolutely type them in the chat box. If you're a guest, I mean, consider yourself you're one of the team while you're on call tonight. We treat everybody here just like you're on the team. So let's see here. That was Eric. Put the link in. Okay, we're caught up there. Yeah, don't be shy, guys. If you have questions, let me know. What we're going to do is this actually went out last week in the email from Beverly, this flyer and the booklet I'm going to show you next. So everybody would have that to start working on. And here is the booklet. Now this is from Modupe. We call her Mo. She's up in St. Louis and sometimes down in Dallas. She did this and I think she got 2 listings. Now, the booklet is actually an alternative use from its original intended use. We originally built this booklet to appeal to investors, right? Investors flipping homes, investors buying rentals. And we sometimes combine the 2 into one booklet. It turns out it's better to have long-term 2 different booklets, one on flips and one on rentals. But you can also use it for owner occupants. And this is what Mo did, okay? So if you scroll down, well, first thing she did is she has a picture of the neighborhood that she's farming. Is that a great picture? Riverwood Estates, look at that. So do you think anybody in Riverwood Estates, when they come home and they see this booklet in their door jamb or down by the garage, or she hands it to them when they're cutting the grass or something, do you think those people might be interested in looking at her booklet? Yeah, I would. If it's your neighborhood and it shows your neighborhood right on the front cover, heck yeah. It's all about me, right? That's the motto. What's in it for me? So in any case, she just tells them this is what it is. 4th quarter real estate info for Riverwood Estates. And there's Mo right there. Modupe Idawu. She's another amazing human being. So she puts in there a little bit of a cover letter, not much, just an introductory letter, contact information on every single page. Okay. And then she doesn't fool around, guys. She goes right into the meat and potatoes of the thing. Right. So this is an amazing booklet. She gives a lot of details, right? in a short piece of paper. So in any case, these are closed properties, and look at how few properties have sold, only 9, because there's just not much inventory. And you get to see the square footage, the date, the original price, the list price, the sold price. For the most part, these are at or near the list price. I see 1 or 2 that are slightly below, but pretty much there's a couple that are over. Actually, there's 2 that are over. And the percentage of sale price to list price, all right? And the low, the high, the medium, and the low, right? And the average. So you get all that information, all those homeowners love to have. Okay, then she gets into, oh, that's right, there's more closed properties. So this is a big neighborhood, by the way. I can't remember the exact number of homes, but it's quite a bit. So anyways, those are all of the solds, closed properties. The pending was up above there. Oh, sorry, that's closed, and down here, here's the summary, right? Units active, units pending, and units closed. So you can see there's only 2 active listings at the time she created this, right? There's only 4 that are under contract, and 55 are sold, and they're selling like hotcakes, extremely fast. If you go back up in here, I think she had in here, oh, days on market, there it is. Look at this, you got some outliers, 119 days, 63 days, but look at these days on market for the most part, 6 days, 3 days, 5 days, 4 days. That is unbelievably tight, you know? So in any case, she gives them all of that, and they want to know what your home is worth. Now, again, if it was me, I would say, would you like to know what your home would sell for? It's an embedded command, sell for, sell for, sell for. If you say what it's worth, it doesn't pack the same punch. And then she gives her call to action and her contact information. So she got listings out of this. Okay. All right. Now, let me give you a little bit more explanation and then we'll for some Q&A. The first time you do this, you want to hit the entire neighborhood. And I suggest you do that twice. Do it the first time and a month later, do it again, the entire neighborhood. And you should do that between now and the end of March. Now in April, what you want to do is, I'm going to save you some time and energy, is you start the circle prospecting part. So what you do starting in April, every 2 weeks throughout the peak season is you look and see what changed in the neighborhood. Something got sold, something went under contract, and something was actively listed for sale with a new sign in the yard. Wherever one of those changes occurred, what you do is you draw a circle around that house and you take the most immediate or closest 25, let's say it could be 35 houses that are closest to there, and you provide an updated booklet to those 25 to 35 houses around the house that had a change. Okay, that's part of what's called circle prospecting. Most agents send out a postcard. I'm telling you, if you walk that neighborhood and you give them a brand new flyer, a brand new booklet with the changes marked up and circled, right? They're going to work with you because you're there in person, right? And you're also showing that you care enough to go out there to see them in person. And I will ask, I'll put the question out here. You can type in your answer or just unmute yourself and call it out. Which technique is going to get you better results? Sending a postcard in the mail saying, hey, your neighbor's house just sold, or going by the houses around there personally and handing out a booklet or a flyer? Which one's going to get you better results? The postcard in the mail that everybody gets, this impersonal, or this where you actually meet somebody in person? Just tell me which one you think it is. A would be the former, B would be the latter. You can type it in or call it out or even raise your hand. I bet Lou knows the answer.
Yeah, baby. No doubt about it. Human beings, that human touch, it makes such a difference when you can be face to face with anybody, a seller, a buyer, a lender. It's the way to be.
Yep. So in any case, guys, you can do door knocking. I'm not against door knocking. I mean, well, I have a reservation, and it all has to do with is whether you're male or female, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, I promise you, I'm just trying to be safety oriented. So I suggest if you're a female, just go with another person. Go with could be another woman, or be a guy you go out with, and do it that way if you're going to door knock. Okay. Um, there are things you need to learn if are going to door knock about personal safety that we do teach. All realtors get that education. But it's not a big problem, but there's enough instances of danger out there on consistently enough that make us be safer and have take care of ourselves. Okay. So in any case, what I want to do now is help you figure out what area do you serve. Okay. Now, a lot of people think that where they live is where they're going to serve. And that may be true in a lot of cases. If you live in a bread and butter neighborhood, like in other words, a kind of neighborhood where more people population wise are able to afford it. You live there a lot of years, you know everybody knows each other. The kids go out and play all the time. You know, it doesn't have to be the most expensive neighborhood. It just has to be a neighborhood where there's activity. Houses are being listed for sale and they're actually selling. Okay. So if you have a neighborhood where houses are going up for sale, with the days on market is long, like 180 days, for example. Okay. And there's inventory out there that's 6 months of inventory. And then down the street, maybe 5 minutes away, is another neighborhood where the days on market is 90 days. And there's houses going up, and they're mostly all selling. Which neighborhood would you want to farm? The one that has a lot of listings going up but fewer sales, or the one that has more sales relative to the listings? So if you want to type that answer in, or again, you can feel free to unmute yourself. I don't mind if you speak up. Let's see what kind of answers we get here. Giselle says less sales. Now, actually, what you want is you want more sales. Yep, you want more sales. So if you look at let's go back to Mo's booklet. All right. If you look here, now this is extreme. I mean, when you got 55 sales and only 2 active listings in a quarter, this is in a 90-day period, guys. That means 57 houses went up for sale and 55 have sold. Okay. I'm sorry, 55, 59, 61 have gone on the market, 55 sold, 4 under contract, and only 2 have not sold. That would be a good neighborhood to market. However, when it's like that, I guarantee you're going to attract every other agent from 30 miles away to go work that neighborhood. So what I suggest is look for some equilibrium, at least closer to it. I know it may be hard based on the way the market's been the last couple of years, but that's macroeconomics. Don't let that dissuade you. If everywhere's like this, you just work it. That's all you do. And you work it sooner than everybody else. Remember, I said earlier, you don't want to wait till April to do this. You want to start this like right now, start it right now. Get that front of mind presence going. And then when they come time to hold yard sales and garage sales, you should go to those, by the way, too. Okay. And introduce yourself and have some fun, make fun with it. And, don't be afraid to ask them, you're having a yard sale because you're looking to sell your house. And half the time we're going to say, yeah. The other half the time they're just getting rid of stuff. But it's a great way to figure out who's selling. So in any case, when you're looking for the right neighborhood, you can use your MLS to run some basic reports. And what you can do is run a general report in your MLS for the whole MLS area and have it presented to you by either zip code or MLS area field. There'll be, if you use the MLS area field, you're going to have a lot more volume because the area field is usually smaller geographically than a zip code. So, but a zip code to me, guys, it's too big. In a zip code, you could have 15 different neighborhoods, 35 different neighborhoods, but an area field generally is commensurate with the neighborhood. An area field generally represents a neighborhood. So I suggest do the report on the area field. Now, if you're in an area where MLS covers like 7 different counties, you just run it for your county. Okay. And then you get this report by area field, and you're going to, in the report, you're going to have number of listings, number of solds, days on market, sale price to list price, all those vital statistics, just like you have back up here, right? And if you want to put in their number of bathrooms and bedrooms and all that, absolutely feel free. And you can see the average number of bedrooms, the average number of bathrooms. And that tells you the kind of neighborhood it is as far as the housing stock. Remember, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom ranches, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom colonials, or that's your most of your sales will be in those neighborhoods. But that will tell you where to market, because you might live in an apartment in a high rental area, right? And so in order to get listings for sales, you've got to go to an area that's stronger home ownership. So you do the MLS report, look at the area fields, and choose an area field, like maybe narrow it down to the top 10, but you want to ultimately pick one that has somewhere between 200 and 400 homes in it. All right. Any less than that, you're not going to get the same results. Any more than that, you're going to need help. Okay. So 300 is probably about this magic number. And you can hit 300 homes in a weekend. Okay. You're not really asking for a lot considering what you get out of it. I mean, think about it. You can either spend a lot of money buying leads, which it's a crapshoot when you do that, or you could do the work yourself, save yourself a few $100, do the work yourself, get some exercise, get your own listings, meet people, because maybe 3 of them will sell right away, but 3 more will sell next month, the 3 more will sell the month after. And more importantly, they're all going to go to work on Monday to find out that one of their coworkers is being transferred and they got to sell their house. And they're going to say, you've got to call Eric, you've got to call Karen, you've got to call, Hannah or Brianna, because they work my neighborhood. They give me reports every month on what's happening in the area, and they're really good at what they do. That's why you do these things. It's today business and future business. Now you can use ReallyFlow too. If you go to ReallyFlow, right, let's bring this up so I can pick. Let's do this. Who wants to volunteer? Let's see who the guests are real quick here. Let's do a stop share. And I need to do gallery view. So if you're a guest, actually, Camille, do you already have ReallyFlow, Camille Duke?
I do.
You do? Okay. Well, we're gonna pass you up. But I'll take care of you another way. How about that?
Okay.
How about let's see who else is here as a guest. Hey, Diane Todd, do you already have access to ReallyFlow? Let me click ask to unmute.
No, I don't.
Okay. Can I use you as a guinea pig for tonight? I'll create a file of leads for you. How about that?
Sure.
Okay. So let me, if you could type your email address in the chat box for me, that would be great, because I'll actually send you the file tonight. So Diane, what is your zip code?
92586.
92586. So you are definitely out west somewhere.
Yep.
Whereabouts, by the way?
Menifee, Riverside County.
Awesome. I know exactly where you are. So I've got one of my agents just moved out there. She was in Inglewood in LA and just moved out to Riverside. It's a lot less congested and a lot less expensive,
It is.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. What's interesting is I can go up to Big Bear and go snow skiing or whatever, boating in the summer if I'm there in the summer, and then come on down to Riverside or Redlands and do some business, just right down the road from the top of the mountains. So, and if you like Palm Springs, you can go there too.
Yep, we're
So-
about an hour and a half from Palm Springs.
Yep, I love it there. It's one of my favorite little towns. So, okay, so I'm going to choose long-term owner. Let's see how many you've got there first.
Gary, just so you know, we're not seeing your screen if that's what you
Oh.
wanted to do.
I'm sorry. You're right, Eric. I apologize. I didn't. do the share. So share. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. So I plugged in the zip code 92586. I chose long-term owner as my criteria for all owners and only for single-family homes, condos, townhomes, and multifamily properties. Right? And I got 388 people. So Dan, that would be a good number. It's just under the 400 mark, but that still would be a lot. So what I would actually do is add something like this. I know they've owned a house 25 years or more. This is what the system tells me, 25 years ownership or more. But I'm going to add one more criteria. I'm going to try delinquent tax activity first. Now that narrowed it down to just 10. So 10 people are behind on the property taxes. Let me try something else here. I'm going to add vacant. So they live there a long time. That's even less. 8 people. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna switch gears, and I'm gonna click on board investor. So board investor is 10 years of ownership or more and non-owner occupied. The owner doesn't live there, it's probably a rental, and they've owned it more than 10 years. And a lot of rental owners will sell about 10 years on average. That's the actual national statistic. And then I'll add, let's go back to vacant. So I got board investor, they've owned it a long time, and they got a vacancy. There's 21 people there. So who here thinks someone who owns a rental property that's vacant might be interested in finding out what their house would sell for?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. Now we can also choose,
Hey,
let me
Gary,
get rid of vacant.
if I can add something,
Yep.
through RealFlow, each one of us has a free AI zip code every month. One.
Aha.
Okay,
Okay.
so
I
you
didn't know
can
that.
actually choose that in the beginning before you even get into this part. So if you go back to the very
Mhm.
beginning where you choose your zip code, if you choose
Yep.
your AI zip code, you can change this monthly. You can have them change it. You can buy more, but they're
Okay.
$50 per zip code
Yeah.
per month. Okay, so if you just want the one free one that comes with what we have, then you can actually choose that. And your AI scores, you can go ahead and put in for like high retail, so what the AI score would be for their probability of selling for retail, for a retail sale in the next 90 days.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, I didn't realize they gave you one for free. I knew
They do.
they created the AI software
Yeah.
capability, which is awesome.
They
Yeah.
didn't used to, but they do. Yeah, they have now for the last several months.
Okay. Well, thank you. So Diane, what I'm going to do here is I first got to clear out. There's 56 in there from before. I'm going to clear those out.
Okay.
So for all the new students, definitely start watching here. This is how you actually manage your account, because everybody on our GIA team gets their own account on the system. Now I'm gonna save these by clicking here, this little caret, select all 294. And you'll notice now it says my leads 294. So I'm going to click on that. Then I can download them. So I'm going to download a standard format file. And I'm not going to add all the other stuff. We really don't need if you had the overview, you're going to have more than enough information. So I'm going to download all 294 on my database. And then Diane, I'm going to send that to you.
Thank you.
Before the class is out, I'll send that to you. I just need your email address if you don't mind sharing. You can just send it to my name. If you put it out there to everybody, you can make 38 brand new friends.
You did.
So there you go. So any case, now what's interesting is when we do it this way, so we can also select other criteria, like where it is, we can put multiple zip codes. Um, we can have multiple criteria. This one I like, Diane, because it actually has 294. Just remember, it's board investor, which is non-owner occupied. It's called absentee owner, 10 years of ownership or more, and they have high equity. I chose high equity. So they got a lot of equity. They've owned it a while. They might be really interested in offloading that property after 10 years of headaches. Now, here's a kicker for you. The way Lou does his business with rentals, he doesn't have a lot of headaches because they're really good at managing rentals. And one of the programs we're going to make available to you guys from Lou through our team's website is the property management program from Lou. We have our own, but it's a different thing altogether. We're showing people how to build an actual business like an LLC. What Lou's doing is speaking to the owner and the agent, and how do you actually deal with the tenants and the properties for maximum cash flow and minimum headaches. So keep your eyes peeled for that, guys, and your ears open. It's coming soon. I can't tell you exactly when because Lou and I've got to get our operations people together. What's he saying? His people and we'll talk to my people and vice versa. So, but that's coming to you, and you're going to be able to use that with your clients. If you're an investor, use it for yourself. And I've seen some of it. I'm telling you, it works. It's good old fashioned horse sense stuff that works. But in any case, if
Hey,
you're
I
looking
wonder
to
if any of this, hey, Gary, I wonder if any of this looks familiar to Lou.
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It was, it certainly does. We use the same system. We love it. We think it's just awesome and have been using it for a long time and highly recommend it because they have kind of got the kitchen sink in there. They've got all the details and being able, obviously to have a successful business, you've got to have leads. And here at your fingertips, you can just go right in and boom, make a list anytime you want to. In fact, it needs to be on your calendar that every Monday morning you're making a list and you're doing something with that list. Like Gary said, either walking the neighborhoods, knocking on doors, connecting with people, creating your target market, because target markets are so highly critical. When I was loving what you were sharing, Gary, about the booklet, because there's a lady here in our neighborhood. She has done that for years. And guess what? There was 2 houses sold on my street this year so far. And both of those were listed by her. And they're literally 2 doors apart from each other, different sellers, the whole 9 yards. But she rules this area that I'm in because of, working those leads and doing those mailings, like you're saying.
That's it. What's amazing is it doesn't take that much to do it either. It literally is just putting one foot in front of the other. And I don't mean just as metaphorically, but I mean physically. Wake up in the morning and put on, I would call business casual clothes. You're going to want to wear tennis shoes. Obviously, you don't want to wear, hard dress shoes or high heel shoes doing this stuff, but be a regular, normal person. Tell these people when you meet them, hey, I live near here. I have clients interested in houses just like yours. That's why I'm out here. I've got this market data that I want to share with you because I did my research to find out why is this area in such high demand. Well, now I know, and I'm going to share it with you for free. By the way, Diane, and everybody that's on our team, pay attention to this. Here's another way you can determine your farm area. I just chose long-term owner, which is 25 years of ownership or more for the same zip code. But see how there's 388? You can actually draw a polygon around this 152 right here. Okay. See right here, the little dash right there. There's the first dot, there's a second dot, third dot, fourth dot, go back up and connect the dots. You could do a circle. That's your farm area. It tells you the exact area to work. So you can use RollieFlow. You can also use the MLS method that I just mentioned to you earlier. All right. Any questions on picking your farm area? It's really important that you do the research. It won't take long. Take 15 minutes, determine your farm area. Then, do the either create a booklet or a flyer and do your business.
Owners that have been here more than 25 years.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Oh, I was telling my husband that there was 150 owners that have been here more than 25 years.
Wow.
Correct. Yeah. And the reason I like the long-term ownership is I know people who own their house 25, 30, 35 years. Their kids are grown now. They're out of college or in college or getting married and have their buying their own houses. And some of these folks are thinking, gee, maybe it's time to move to Arizona or Texas or wherever, you know. And I catch them at the right time while they're thinking about that. And you're going to have more of that with long-term owners. I mean, there's all kinds of criteria you can use, but I particularly like that because I'll give you a couple reasons. Number one is the houses are generally well cared for, but they generally have, the carpeting is now served its purpose. The kitchen's probably a little bit dated. The bathroom, things like that. It may need a new roof. It may, all these things I know I can do for a lot less money than the average homeowner because I'm in the business of investing. And all investors have their crews they work with, and you will too. If you do this, you'll develop your own corral of contractors that can do good work for you. You give them a lot of good work and you pay them well, they're going to come back more and do more for you. So I know I can take these houses and with a little bit of elbow grease, make them shine and look brand new again and make a lot more profit. There's other things I can do too. I can actually help the homeowner make the profit. I can help them flip their own home if they're interested. There's all kinds of things I can do. And depending on their financial circumstances, I can use some of Lou's techniques to help them sell and maybe even buy the next house, right? So you're going to get a lot more, information related to Lou's program. Yeah, Lou, go ahead. Yeah.
Gary, if I can add something, because you're so right about these older homes and the fact that people have lived there for a long time. What it says to me is many of them have equity. And that means that they have what I call options. They've got the option to be the bank for you. So from a creative financing standpoint, they can choose to actually give you time to purchase that property. In other words, let's say that you get it under contract, you purchase it. Sometimes they don't even need that money. They've already got a replacement property. They've already got a situation where they just don't need the money right now. It's perfect. And another thing you find in these older neighborhoods is that mama or grandmama now has progressed to the senior living, we don't call them facilities anymore, the senior living community, right? So now they've got this leftover house. The kids live 400 miles away. Nobody wants anything that's in that house, and they don't want the house either because they've already got their own house. So what that means is there's more opportunity, and those options mean that you can have that creative financing opportunity. So from an investor standpoint, it's the best of all worlds.
Hi, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for participating in the Massive Passive Cash Flow podcast. Also wanted to let you know that the book Global Investor Agent is officially out in print and in Kindle on Amazon. You can get it by clicking on the link right here. If you are an agent, definitely grab yourself a copy. This book, guys, was not just written by me. I also included 8 other investor agents from around the country. And I didn't just handpick them. I literally opened it up to the entire audience. And it was first come, first serve. So you're going to get feedback from brand new agents all the way up to top 25 team leaders. Some on my team, some are not on my team, with valuable insight and instructions and guidance and actual checklists to follow to not just survive, but thrive in this market. I know you're looking for that advantage, and this is it. By the way, if you are an investor, grab a copy for your agent, and for everybody, all profits from the sale of the book, Kindle and print, all go to the Healing House Foundation, 100%. Thank you for doing that too, guys. Yep, it really is, and it's just when you have all these solutions, guys, you think of them as tools in your toolbox. So instead of showing up like the average realtor does with one option, maybe 2, right? You've got 3 or 4 or 5, 6. I have myself personally identified and or used 30 different techniques for creative purchasing. Now Lou, because he's been at it a few, I think he's up to like 37. So just
and
It,
and hybrids of that is actually 71. Right. So
yeah,
there's so many options that you can bring to the table. And of course, it's skills. So you learn the skills of listening and discovery. You know, what is the seller's pain? Once you discover what the seller's pain is, then you can bring the cure to the table. But until you find out what that pain is, you're not going to be able to really solve their problem. They can't hear you. So you want to bring something that they can actually hear and present it in a certain way. So that's one of the unique techniques that we use is we make a presentation to our sellers, just like real estate agents make a listing presentation, but we make a presentation to buy their home. And we actually have the seller participate in arriving at the offer price. So as a result of what we call the cost to sell worksheet, which a lot of agents know about, but it's usually a pretty short one, we have a long one. And the seller actually is learning and being educated along the way of how that number was arrived at. And once that number is arrived at, that's the offer price. And if they like it, great. And if they don't like it, well, we can show them that right on that cost to sell worksheet, we can increase our offer using creative financing techniques. So definitely getting the seller involved, getting them really educated in the process is a real critical piece of the puzzle.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Lou, for sharing that too. Everybody, just keep taking notes. I mean, the more you hear this, the more notes you take. You know, replaying these class recordings, you get the emails always the next day. Repetition is the mother of learning. I mean, that's just how we learn. You learn from implementing too. That's the best way to learn. But while we're in class, you got to listen and take notes multiple times. And gradually through the one-on-one coaching calls is how you start to implement, right? You don't just have me, you've got, me and Gina and Rob Lane and there's some others on here that are stepping up to the plate too. You might have gathered that Eric and Karen are stepping up to the plate because I've mentioned their names multiple times. And I mean, several people have voiced um, their desire to help more and do more and serve others. And being a leader, guys, always helps you win. I promise you, I mean, stuff will start coming your way, organically. You don't have to work so hard, you know. So I'm gonna show you how you can actually get this letter. So Diane, there's a letter we use um, on our team to approach people. It's we call it the team letter. There's also 50 other some odd letters, 54 I think, on ReallyFlow you can use. But let me show you where to get this stuff. So for all the new agents, everybody new to the team, um, by the way,
So
I'm gonna
before
mention
you move
some of the new
on,
agents.
Gary,
Oh,
can
sorry.
can I interrupt before you move on? Because
Yes.
I typically have things to say. But anyway,
That's okay.
but anyway, no, I just wanted to bring up, this was this is a good segue between you and Lou. And it shows all of the similarities between what you do. Because, for example, whether you're sending postcards, whether you're doing letters, whether you're doing walks around the neighborhoods, etc. Like Lou said last night, I'm going to ask you to go and knock on 100 doors. Well, I haven't heard him say that before, but anyway, you're saying go do the walkabout because he said, you got to get something out of knocking on 100 doors, and you're saying, go do the walkabout. People, you meet, etc. But bottom line is this is all old school stuff. It's just getting your name out in front of people. And so it doesn't matter whether you're an investor, whether you're an agent, whether, it doesn't matter. It's real estate. It's all the same. Bottom line is that what we're setting up, and this is what you and Eric and I have talked a lot about, is setting the agent up for success, because everybody joins us because they want to invest. I was an investor before I was ever an agent, right? I mean, 23 years ago. And then a couple of years later, became an agent. But the thing is if you want to invest and you want to be an agent, like the more things you have in your tool belt, the more opportunities when you do have somebody in front of you, then you can say, hey, you know what? If this isn't working, I can list it. You know, if this goes my way, then I can do this with it. If this, you know, if this goes this way, then I can do this. I can give it to, you know, I can talk to my investor so and so. And you know what? Those are the things that should be going on in your head, where you have all these different options that you can make work for you, because that's why we become investor agents.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
I'm going to add
Yeah.
one thing to that, because I listened intently to Mr. Lou Brown. He's telling his entire crew of students that right now the biggest down payments he's collecting are from referrals from agents. And I've been networking with agents for many years, and lately things have been kind of lean, and they really weren't talking to me because competition. Now they're calling me because I walk around with this hat and this clothing, and they know exactly what I do. I'm the only one that's been talking about it for 2 years. So those are right leads right now. Network with other agents and tell them you can help their buyer customers that do not qualify for traditional financing today. And then leave it at that and ask
He's
for
right.
help, and we'll help you.
Yep. I just got a lead last week from somebody. It may be, you know, it may not amount to a lot, etc. But then, you know, Lou's saying, hey, you know, be the bank, you know, take it out further than, you know, than our normal mortgage would be, if that's the way you have to do it. There are ways to work around these things.
You know,
Absolutely.
and one of the things that, as you are out there in the world, all of you are connected to other agents, just ask a simple question. Do you have anybody that is not able to qualify for a loan? Do you have someone that you cannot sell a home to? I've got good news to you. For you, you can earn up to a full commission. Would you be interested in knowing more? Boom. Now, they give you that lead because they can't do anything with it anyway, and you find out how much down payment they have and how much they can afford on a monthly basis. Then you go custom buy a property for that person. You buy it right, you buy it cheap, and you make your money on the spread. So the idea is arbitrage. That's what they call it on Wall Street, but you're making your money on the differential between what you're paying for the property and what you can sell it for to your new customer. And of course, if you can buy it creatively, like Gary was just talking about, buying these in these older, mature neighborhoods, well, that just is a honeypot to me, because these are customers that have equity, they have options, and that means that now we can come in and negotiate a deal where they might even wait on their money until our buyer buys the property. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's real. And because they just don't need the money right now. So if you make the offer in the right way, then they'll actually wait for their money.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, guys. I just want to show you something real quick since we're on. This is our team website. It's realestatewithgarywilson.com, but these are our training programs. So Lou program is going to have a space on our first. We're first going to put Lou up here up top. You know, so everybody's used to making sure he knows we're working together. He's part of the team. And same thing I'll figure out how to plug into Lou's side too. I think I have an idea for that, but we'll run it by Lou first. But so you're going to see Lou's material here, right? And you know, we might have to update one or two of our. These are actually, this could probably stay the same. No, we got to update that right there. The number 6 will increase. And if anybody wants to take Lou's programs, you click on that box, it'll take you right to Lou's platform, and you go from there. So, in any case, a little bit about me. And here's, if anybody does want to, if you're new to this or you're a guest here, you can go to this website. You can put in myinvestmentservices.com or realestatewithgarywilson.com or simply rewgw.com. You don't have to put all this in, just put in your name and email and number. We'll leave a little message too. And then Beverly will set you up with a call. All right, you can come to class Monday Night Live anytime you want. There is a where was the join? I think it was up here. There it is. There's another button. It's the same, essentially the same form. You can click on this, and it doesn't cost anything. But basically, you get to say, "This is who I am. This is where I am, and this is like to accomplish." And then we can show you what we have in detail. Spend time to go through this and then figure out what it is you're looking to accomplish. Look for the match. And ultimately, you decide. You don't have to pay for this. There's nothing. It, you just literally raise your hand and you get to say, "This is who I am, where I want to go," and we'll show you what we got. If you feel the match, then you can move forward. So, what I want to do right now is I'm going to show for all the new members. Now that you know how to find the area that you're going to market, there's other things you can do. So I've got to log into my dashboard. And I'll show you. So Diane, there's last week we actually covered our lead gen system really flow in detail and went over a letter we use, which is in our marketing tab. Okay. So everybody on the team, if you're new and you haven't seen this or done this yet, click on the marketing tab in your dashboard. Everybody's got a dashboard. The middle column, everything's alphabetical, right? Top to bottom and left to right. Click on the letter campaign and you'll get the complete letter campaign. The letter itself, the checklist for using the letter, a sample letter filled out, audio, video instructions, written instructions, and everything you can need. Even nurturing campaigns are in there, complete total nurturing campaigns. So that's where you get the letter. But Diane, what we're going to do is the email that went out let's see, that would have been last Tuesday. So let's type in last night's webinar. All right. Really flow. There it is. So Dan, we're going to send this to you also, the email that went out last week. Yep. Yep. It has the letter in here. So hang on one second. Let me show you this. I got to expand all these little dots here. There it is. Okay. So this is the recording of last week's class, Diane, and anybody who wants this, you just have to let us know, and here's the actual letter template that you use and the letter checklist, how to actually use the letter. So this is all in the email. We're going to get this to you, Diane, so you have what you need to use our file I just sent you, sorry, that I'm going to send you.
Super.
And if everybody knew, just remember back here on the website, you go to your dashboard, click on marketing, drop down, and you will see all the campaigns. By the way, I want to show you something here. These are our marketing graphics. We've got a step-by-step marketing sequence document that you definitely could have if you ever printed it off, guys. But this is going to help explain why what Lou and I are talking about with Eric and Karen are so vitally important. If you look at your database of people, you've got essentially 3 levels. Inner circle, which is the people you know the most and know you the most. Level 2, they know you, you know them. Level 3 is you might not remember them, they might not remember you. But the circle that you're going to get most of your business from is the inner circle, either direct or indirect. Either they're going to buy or sell something, or they're going to refer somebody to you that's buying or selling something. And ultimately, you're trying to get more 2s to become number 1s and more 3s to become number 2s. Right? See how that works? And if you look down here, the marketing categories, there's different categories of marketing. Level 1 marketing is direct one-on-one communication. That's why Lou's a big fan of door knocking, and we like our a walkabout and some other techniques like directly on the phone. That's the highest level of conversion, right? And it's the one thing people do the least of. I know so many agents that absolutely hate getting on the phone, and all it is fear. It's just simple fear. You can eliminate that, right? Through coaching and through coming to class and collaborating with other agents and forming accountability partnership, right? Coming to our masterminds. Gina has the morning mastermind every single morning, or Tuesday through Friday, excuse me, right? Level 2 marketing is it's direct, but it's not in person, like texting, emailing, things like that. Level 3 can still be direct, but usually often not, and it's more like social media, things like that. And level 4 is pretty much everything else. But ultimately, you do need to do some level 4 marketing to bring people into your funnel. Level 3 warms them up. Level 2, they're starting to get to know you and like you and trust you. And level 1, they're having conversations with you. When you call them, they pick up the phone. And by the way, a lot of those same people are your inner circle people. So if you wonder why we focus so much on inner circle people, category 1 contacts, and level 1 marketing, because that's where the money is. Okay. Everything else is designed to bring those people from level 4, level 3, level 2, level 1, right? That's called nurturing. That's your funnel. So, in any case, that's pretty much what I have for tonight. Now it's 20 after 8. I know we went a little bit long, but if you guys would like, you can stick around, and I'll be happy to do some Q&A with you. And Lou, if you would like to hang around a little bit, man, guys, you get to pick the brain of one of the true leaders in this industry and a lot of years experience, and he's who I go to. Okay. Um, he's got it all figured out, the strategies and everything. So if you have questions, let me check the chat box and see what we got, Lou. Let's see, my LLC is all the options. That's Dutch's LLC, all the options at gmail.com. How about that? Let's see, everybody's typing in their answers to some of my previous questions. Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this. Would you like to learn more about, let's do this. Let's take a case study, an example. So raise your hand right now if you're not sure. Here's one from Henry. How can I become more familiar with seller financing?
Yeah,
There you go,
baby.
Lou.
Now you're talking, Henry. Well, it's a thing near and dear to my heart. I think about how so many people cannot go to the bank and qualify for loans, especially 1099 folks that are out there in the world, real estate agents. It's hard to go to the bank and qualify for a traditional loan. Plus, they want 20% down unless you get a lower down. Well, if you get a lower down, now you got a higher payment because you got to pay mortgage insurance premium, PMI, MIP, whatever it might be, depending on the loan product. Well, in our world, and Gary, they got this thing on here called Spotlight. I spotlighted you, so you might want to add a spotlight there. Now we're together here. So one of the things that when I was learning this whole business over time, I realized that it is a people business. You got to talk to people. You got to find out what the real reason they want to sell is, not what they might be saying, but you got to get down to the real reason. And what you often find is people say, well, I need some money. Well, you find out they don't need all the money. You find out they need just some of the money. So seller financing to me is to scratch the itch, solve the immediate need that they might have. Maybe they only need $5,000 and they've got $100,000 worth of equity. Well, if I were to give you your $5,000 now and give you your $95,000 when my buyer buys the property, would that be of interest to you? Would that work for you? Is what I typically say. Would that work for you? And well, yeah, that could work. Okay, I can give you the $5,000 right away. Whatever the number might be, we've got to scratch that itch, whatever need they have, not want. So most sellers want as much as they can get, but what do they really need? They need something to solve a problem. So Henry, for me, the door opens for seller financing because our first offer is always a cash offer. Now, how did we get to that cash offer? Well, we make a presentation. So we have a seller presentation kit where we literally go through the who we are, what we do, how we operate, how we can help, and how we are different than others. So the traditional sale where they're going to list the property and get a buyer to come in, well, they're subject to the time frame of that buyer. They may have sold another property. They need to get in that property. You got to put your stuff in storage and move into an apartment or a hotel. That's a terrible thing. Well, what if we can work with the timing of your move? So I give the sellers a lot of reasons why it makes sense to work with us versus someone else, right? The traditional way of listing a property, plus the uncertainty of selling a property. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know if the deal's going to fall through. But here we are today. We can put your property under contract. We can close within 7 days or 30 days or 60 days, whatever works for you. So that's very unusual when a seller hears that you can be flexible about the timing and they can get what they need in terms of timing. So Henry, I look at seller financing as a way that we're actually solving their problems. We're giving them things that a traditional buyer cannot give them. We give them things that a traditional real estate agent cannot give them, because all real estate agents don't typically talk about seller financing at all. Nothing about creative financing. Real estate agents say you go to the bank and you get a loan, and that's how, and you pay off my seller, and that's what you do, and you pay off any underlying financing. Well, imagine, Henry, seller financing to me means if they've got financing on that property, I am interested because I want to take over the existing payments on that property. And I've been doing this since 1983. They passed a law in 1982 called the Garn-St. Germain Federal Depository Institutions Act, and they gave the banks the right to put the due upon sale clause in the mortgage. Well, that kind of blew it. Well, no, I had been buying properties before then. I've been buying property since 1976 when you could pay $45 and take over someone's financing. Literally, if it was a 30-year loan and they were 15 years in, pay $45 and take over the payments. It was awesome. And you're well into the amortization schedule, and it's just a perfect place to be. So I love that process. And imagine you take over existing financing on the property, and almost regardless of the interest rate, because you don't pay any points, you don't pay any closing costs, you simply take over the payments. So I love if there's existing financing, Henry, that's the seller financing that you're talking about. I count that too. I count any existing financing that they have on the property as seller financing. And number two, when we do that cost to sell worksheet and we come up with a number, if there's equity over and above what they owe on their mortgage, that equity, I can pay them at some time in the future. And sometimes I say to them, look, let me just ask you a question. Would an extra $300 a month make a difference in your life? Well, almost every seller is going to say yes. And say, well, let me ask you this. I owe you $50,000. If I were to pay you $300 a month until paid, would that work for you? Well, that's zero interest, Henry. So, here's another opportunity for you to step in. It's knowing what to say. It's knowing how to say it. It's knowing how to do the presentation. And it's definitely one of the things that we do when we come to a seller. We actually give them this book. We actually give the seller the book, Doing Good While Doing Well. And the reason we do that is to get them convinced that we have credibility, because we want to come to the table oozing credibility. Why? Because we are going to offer them a creative financing deal. We are, after we make our cash offer, if they don't like that cash offer, no worries. We're going to now go into the creative world and make them an offer that is going to work for them. And that's one of the reasons that we have such a high close rate, because we're able to show them both sides of the coin and what makes the most sense.
Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate the
So
question.
Lou Henry's up in the Big Apple,
Mm,
and he's new to the
yeah, baby.
team. And
Where are you up there?
I'm actually in New York City, so I go back and forth. But yeah, I'm right under the city, the heart of the city, you could say.
That's one of my guys, Miguel Boltera, is up there as well. Works for the Port Authority.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, baby, he's he's active up there too.
That's awesome. But great. Thank you. This was amazing. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
yeah,
Who else has a question?
hey, guys, raise your hand, or you can do the hand raise function on your. You actually, it'll say at the bottom, hand raise with a hand, or
Or
type in the chat box.
yeah,
If you're
come off of
who
mute,
here,
whatever works for you.
yeah. Oh, thanks, Diane. You're very welcome. But who here would like to learn more about these techniques and make these part of your model, your business model going forward?
I
Way for
absolutely
yourself.
would, but I didn't get to log in until halfway through because I was out showing property. But this is what I have been needing to add. So I'm going to go back
Yeah.
and I'll listen to the replay tomorrow morning, and
Okay.
then I know I'll have plenty of questions.
Who do we
Yeah.
have? Who's just now spoke up?
Lisa Sears.
Lisa. Awesome. We made an offer in the beginning. I've got an event coming up in March. It's called Millionaire Jumpstart. So you just go to simply millionairejumpstart.com/Gary, and you're going to get an amazing offer to come to a 3-day event that I'm going to go deep dive into a lot of these things, buying right and buying cheap, where you really can capture the equity that can produce the income for you to have income forever off of a property. And the first thing we do is find the buyer first before we buy the real estate. So you're not buying the wrong property in the wrong neighborhood at the wrong time for the wrong price. We're actually finding a buyer, pre-qualifying that buyer from the bank of Lisa, right? not the traditional bank, but your bank, where you can carry back financing from that buyer. Now we have them pre-qualified. Now we go about finding a property for less than they can afford, and we make our money on the spread. So it's a quite unique business model that's worked for us and worked for our licensees all over America for a long time.
I remember the first time I heard it, didn't quite understand it. I still don't get all the things, but I'm running into people who could really use these options. So I really want to understand how to make it work for these people. Some of those I was just out with today.
Oh, brilliant. Awesome. Yeah, that's the thing. You always want to ask the question, how much do you have to work with, and how much is your total household income? And then we do a quick analysis on that and literally come up with the amount that they can qualify for. And then we go about finding a property for less. But here's what's also unique about this is they become a team member. So we tell them, okay, well, you know the neighborhoods that you would be happy to live in. And so what I want you to do is literally drive these neighborhoods that you would be satisfied living in, and start bringing me any kind of vacant properties you find, properties in less than perfect condition, because generally that means that we're going to be able to buy a house at the right price to be able to sell to you at the price that we've got you pre-qualified at. So we'll tell them up front, you can qualify for $200,000, and that's what we've got you. That's what you're going to buy the house from us at. Now we have to buy the house for less. Can you understand that? They say yes, and I say, okay, let's start driving some $200,000 neighborhoods. And I say, if you want to bring me a $400,000 house, that's fine. I'll be happy to pay you a referral fee. However, you're not going to be able to move into that house right now. We need to get you into a house you can afford, and then you can step up in the future.
So let me ask you this. My clients, My clients, even from today, that I'm like racing the clock to try to write an offer that's competitive, because we finally found something that you can live in. So if they were not using traditional financing, if they were doing something with you, would it be easier to get them in on a property that needs a little work? Because what we're finding in the lower price ranges, it needs work and they won't finance. And it's like, come on, can we just get them into something? These people have some cash on the side that they could spend to fix something
Well,
up.
let's use them as an example. Let's do this as a case study. So how much money do they have to work with?
In cash for a down payment?
Yes.
In the bank?
Yeah.
In the bank. Okay, about 35,000.
Lovely. Oh my gosh, ring the bell. It's a good day. Now, how much is the total household income?
I just talked with another lender today. They were at 49.32 per month.
Okay. And that's net or gross?
No, I didn't go into details on that. He has them qualified at 369 with 10% down and $10,000 back in closing costs.
Okay. And where are you located?
I'm in Southern Oregon, and here you either get a house that's in good shape on a postage stamp, or like they want a little bit of land to have a garden, and you get land and no house. That's where the problem comes in, because the houses don't finance when they're in that kind of condition.
So you're kind of over there next to Idaho, right?
I'm actually Northern California. You just cross over the border. I'm 45 minutes into Oregon.
Aha.
So
Gotcha.
it's rural, and it's yeah, it's rural. So like you don't
Beautiful.
walk neighborhoods out here. And I took my stun gun with me today. I didn't take my gun. I took my stun gun with me. I have a 1,000,000-volt, really mean one.
That is a mean one. Don't
But
cross,
yeah.
Lisa.
Oh no, it's rural out here. You don't go up to somebody's house.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun. Well, I tell you
Southern
what,
Oregon's actually attracting a lot of retirees from Washington, California, and like Portland area because it's relatively affordable. It's beautiful. It's the climate's not, it's, very pleasant, so it's a great area,
well, it sounds like, and one other thing, Lisa, that you put your finger on that's actually part of our program is whatever down payment someone has, they can also agree to do some or all of the repairs to the home in exchange for a credit towards their down payment. So let's say that they're going to need $15,000 cash for materials or whatever. So we let them keep that $15,000, but we're going to give them credit towards their down payment. So we actually, at the closing, meaning our closing, meaning your closing with them, that you're going to not only give them credit for the cash they give you, but for the work for equity credit as well. So combined, they actually get their cake and eat it too. They get to fix up the house customized to what they want, their colors, their style, their flooring, their everything. And because of that, you now have given them an opportunity, because you're the bank, don't have to worry about traditional bank financing.
Okay, that sounds really good. I'm looking at your event. I'll take a good look at that and figure out, where is it going to be? I'm looking at it. It says online.
Atlanta.
Oh, I can't get there, but I can do
Well,
online.
of course you can. Call the plane. They fly every day.
Yeah, that's a
Unfortunately,
long ways.
It's a long
Lisa's
way.
got to ride a horse to the nearest town to catch a train to the airport. So, no, just
Lisa,
kidding.
No,
Lou,
that's too soon for me to get there.
all Lou's events, he has people that work directly with him. They're investors as well, but they go to hang out with Lou and actually work at the event, and they come from California. So one day we'll get you there.
Yep, we have people coming from California, New York, Florida, everywhere, even Oregon and Washington State. I've got a great couple up in Seattle that, actually I got a bunch of people up in Seattle that have embraced our program and done super well. I think they're up to 68 houses now up in both Georgia and Seattle, they're buying properties in multiple states. That's another thing that's really cool about what Gary's teaching you too, is this, you don't have to just do this in your own backyard. You can do this anywhere in the country. Now, of course, you're limited by your license to the state that you're in. However, as an investor, you're unlimited. There are no borders. You can buy your properties anywhere. So I've got several of my agents that are buying properties way outside of where they live, and they're doing it all long distance. So that's another option you've got. You're not just trapped by the price points of homes in your own area. You can actually offer this program anywhere in the country.
Well, you can work with me because for me, I'm a S corp. I never pay myself more than $40,000 a year. I don't qualify for much because that, and I would not buy a rental because in Oregon because of the landlord tenant code. So I'm looking for landlord tenant codes that are more friendly towards landlords, not
Amen.
squatters.
Come to Texas.
Amen. You're thinking right. That's why Gary wanted me to also talk and teach at another time about property management, because property management can actually be highly profitable for you as the investor. So we self-manage our properties, and what we discovered over time is there's like 25 different profit centers that you can earn over and above the traditional landlord profits. So that's another thing to learn about, that you know, there's multiple streams of income, and the properties you already own, you can make a lot more money on them as well. So you put your finger right on one of the biggest issues is the landlord tenant laws. Well,
Yeah.
you know, in certain areas, we don't even offer rental. We only offer rent to own or in-house financing or cash sale, of course. But that means that we're going to get a significant option fee from those folks before they move in. So they have a vested interest in playing all the way out on the deal. And you've got a cushion. If they were to go bad, you've already got a cushion that they paid in the beginning to help you eradicate yourself from them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Trevor in Tulsa. I've got a platinum member in Tulsa. That's awesome. Yeah, they just I'm helping them put 22 houses under contract right now.
Wow, incredible. You know what area?
Yes, sir, I do. I'm not going to say though. Until they get it under contract, then I'll tell you all about it.
Fair enough.
Via the
Hey guys,
next few
Lou
days.
has a class every Sunday night. It's called OREA, or Online Real Estate Investors of America. Lou is actually the original founder of REIA guys, the original national REIA organization. But in any case, on there, you're going to meet people from all over the country. This is why I love this relationship, because we match each other. But there were guys on last night talking about this deal, Trevor, you know, and I mean, just networking and meeting these people. There's people doing duplexes and flips and small properties, and a lot of creative. What Lou teaches isn't just how to acquire the property, that's part of it, but your exit strategy, which is also creative. Like one guy last night had a 50-year mortgage, owner financing, 50-year mortgage at 11%. How'd you like to have that coming in every month? Yep.
No doubt.
Yep.
And he got $20,000 down, and the payout over the 50 years is like $827,000 on a property that he's got $110,000 into. So this idea of the long-term play is highly, highly profitable. You know, a lot of people talking about flipping properties or making real estate commissions. And I just laugh. I say, please bring me all the properties that you want to flip to me. And in fact, one of the houses that I'm closing on 2 houses this week. And one of them is exactly that. It's a real estate agent that brought it to me, and she's going to get her commission. That's just fine with me, because I'm taking it out to the end, and we already got a customer for that property. So we're getting $8,100, I believe it is $8,100 as an option fee. And we're going to get, I think it's I don't know, my wife handles that part, but either $1,700 or $1,800 a month in cash flow, or not cash flow, but monthly payment on that as well. So that's going to bring it close to $10,000 that we're going to get from a customer moving in. I mean, every landlord wish they could say that, right? That the customer moving in is going to give them $10,000 and a significant amount of money on a monthly basis. But you know, that's why you want to start reaching out to wholesalers and to other agents and just say, look, you got something, a property all torn up, or it needs to be updated, whatever it is, and you want an offer. Let me just come in and make an offer directly to your seller. You can be right there when I make the offer, and you'll get your commission because I'll buy the property and I'll be able to put one of my clients into it. And a lot of agents want that, and especially if they've had it on the market for a while. As Gary was showing you earlier, you know, there were some of those properties that have been on the market a long time. Well, there's a reason for that, right? Because of the condition of the property, and or they got it mispriced, whatever the case may be. So they come in, and as a result of now having the opportunity to allow you to make an offer to those folks and make a presentation to those folks, they can end up with a full commission out of the deal. So spread the news that you'll take the leftovers, you'll take the bad deeds, you'll take any kind of title issues, bring them on. You know, tenant issues. I got the squatter in there. Bring it on. You know, anything. The septic tank doesn't work. No problem. Bring it on. Because they've got problems that only you can solve. And so that usually ends up being that you're going to get a really good price on it.
Yeah.
By the way, my friend from Tulsa as well, that's another thing. So up in Enid, you know that place?
I do, familiar with it, yes.
Yeah. So I got another one of my clients that lives over in South Carolina. He's got, is it 40? He's got 38 houses under contract up there in Enid, 2 different sellers. But there's the same family, but 2 different sellers. So there's all kinds of stuff out there. And guys, another thing I'm going to really emphasize, because you got the investor hat on because of Gary. So you're so smart to be connected with him, because listen, there's people aging out every day. 10,000 people turn 65 years old, and every day 4,000 people are turning 85 years old. Imagine that. So you got these old time landlords that have all this property. They want to get rid of the property because they didn't raise their kids to deal with this kind of thing. And they know the kids can't handle it, and they know the kids are going to blow it. So they just are ready to get rid of it. Plus they're tired. And so you come along, you can buy the whole kit and caboodle, never mind buying them one at a time. So another research thing that you can do using Gary's tool is to find people that have multiple properties. Go after those. But those are honeypots, and they're all over the country.
Yep. Yep. Those portfolio deal guys, I've bought portfolios from people retiring from the business, and I've sold them to other investors. And I tell you, you talk about a payday. There's a couple portfolios I sold. I could have retired, just flat out, just I'm done. But it's way more fun doing this right now. So, any case, I could go on and on, but so
Giselle
definitely
just
stay.
There's a few questions for Lou in the chat,
Oh,
actually.
sorry, yeah,
Thank you, Karen.
You want me to
would-
ask the questions?
Would you?
Yeah. Anna asked, correct me if I'm wrong, the mechanism you're describing is being able to offer a wraparound mortgage to our clients, ?
So, Anna, that's a great question. A wraparound mortgage is one of the options, but another is what we call an agreement for deed, also known as contract for deed, also known as bond for deed, and also known as land contract. So what that means is essentially that the deed stays in the seller's name, And we put that deed in escrow. And when we put that deed in escrow with escrow instructions, then that means we can get that deed when we perform in a certain way. So that is one of the ways that we buy on agreement for deed. But when we are selling, we also sell on agreement for deed, meaning we keep the deed until they pay us off. So we've got some control over the situation. If they go crazy on us, they move out on us, they die on us, whatever, we've still got the deed so that we can get the property back without having to go through a traditional long-term foreclosure. Just depending on the state that you're in, that means a lot of days and a lot of expense. If you're in one of those states that are the judicial foreclosure states, it can take a long time to get the property back.
And a second question follow up from Anna was, I think she just missed it when you said that we could attend virtually the Millionaire Jumpstart.
Yes, we have both options, live and in person, and also online.
Okay, and Giselle Loaiza, on your workshop, you'll be showing us how to find these properties.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's one of the things. In fact, what we do is an entire business plan. Most people know that they need a business plan, but most people never get around to doing a business plan. So we do the business plan right there in class, and each one of the segments of the business plan, we actually tell you how to do it. So finding deals, marketing for deals is part of that.
And then the next question, and that was from Giselle as well. I think she wasn't around when you had mentioned to work with wholesalers to definitely get on their list and make friends.
I love wholesalers. I love wholesalers. And I even beg the wholesalers, I say, guys, aren't you interested in what I'm doing with these properties? No. We're spending $30,000 a month in marketing, and we got to go churn. And it's a great story. I had these wholesalers, 4 of them came from Kansas City. This is at one of my classes, a Millionaire Jumpstart, in fact. And they came and they saw what we were doing. And I said, so guys, how much do you spend? Well, we spend $30,000 a month. That's where I got that number from. And I said, so how many deals did you buy last year? 40. You did 40 deals last year. Okay. And how much did you make? 25 grand. So after all that pain and suffering of finding all those deals, negotiating all those deals, closing all those deals, they only made 25 grand a piece. So I said, oh my gosh. Well, imagine that we took half of those, like we do half of those. Let's do some math on this. And I showed them how they could all become millionaires in a very short period of time. Well, sure enough, they took me up on it. They went back to Kansas City. I actually became one of their lenders as well. And now they're up to 25 properties that they have that they're keeping now instead of selling to other people. So I love wholesalers, and I try to give them an insight into their future, what their future could look like. But a lot of times they don't pay any attention to me, and they just keep wholesaling properties to me.
Okay, Melinda Sands, if you attend virtually, will it be recorded? I may not be able to attend virtually all 3 days.
Yeah, that's a smart move. So definitely become a VIP. When you become a VIP, you can get the recordings of the event. In fact, we can go you one better. You can become VIP right away, and we'll give you the recordings from the December event, and you can actually watch those before we have the live event. So that's a really good move, because you're going to have questions, and you're going to be able to bring your questions to the table right away when you come to the live event. So we kind of give you your cake and eat it too, in that you can have that right away. As soon as you sign up, we'll get those recordings to you.
All right, Lisa Sears, 3 days, 8th, 9th, and 10th schedule. Fly in the 7th, fly out the 10th or 11th. Location to help with hotel search.
Awesome. I am so proud of you, Lisa. You are a go-getter. You are somebody that causes things to happen in your life. I am very proud of you. So As soon as you sign up, what will happen is you'll get an immediate email, and it will give you the details about the location and everything else. I don't broadcast that for a good reason. People will show up, and we won't have manuals or seating for them or anything else. So, but you will know because you'll get an email right away.
And the reason I was asking about the location for a hotel search, is there a Hilton that's right close? I have Hilton points that I could use.
Ah, very close.
I'm a Hilton owner.
I love that. I used to be a Holiday Inn owner. So definitely, that was good stuff. Yes, it is very close proximity.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
And Giselle is asking, so you can find on market and off market opportunities for these creative deals, ? What day and time is the call you do via the RIA online meetup?
So the answer is yes, indeed. We don't, it's sort of like searching online. Creative finance deals available in my area. That doesn't exist, right? Deals don't exist. They are created. So it is skills and presentation that actually gets you to the point of creating that creative financing deal. And the RIA is every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you can go to streetsmartreia.com, streetsmartreia.com. And that's another way that I just had Gary on there last night, in fact.
Yep.
So we had a nice chat. So we've got people too that become real estate investors and want to also have the opportunity to earn real estate commissions because they have to pass on deals that they could have otherwise listed.
And Jeff has his hand up.
Jeff, how are you? Jeff Johnston. Do you know I was raised with a guy named Jeff Johnston when I was a kid, way back. Now this is going back some days, but I'm with you, Jeff. How are you?
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I think I'm having a little problem with my audio.
Hey, Jeff, turn on your camera so Luke can see it.
Go ahead, let me try again in a minute.
You guys are twins, close to being twins anyways.
He's having trouble with his audio. Who else do we have, Karen?
Julie has her hand up.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie. Julie calling is from San Diego area.
I love it.
Yes.
Yep.
Hi. Yeah, I put my hand up earlier. But it was just to say that, I wanted to participate, kind of thing.
Oh, perfect. Okay. It's a funny thing.
Really...
Eric brought up the guys that fly out to my event. Every time I have a live event, they fly out from California, and one of them lived in San Diego and the other one in Sacramento. So definitely got a bunch of California connections for you there.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Good to see you, Julie.
I think Jeff might be back.
Yeah, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I took my earphones out and they were flicking in and out. Anyway, I had to step out for just a second and I came back and you guys were talking about wholesalers and not sure how this fits in, but I just talked to this guy down in the St. Pete area down in Florida and part of a couple investor groups, and this property popped up way out of my price range, obviously, but it's a 10-unit apartment building, walking distance to the beach. The guy's wholesaling it. He's telling me all about it, and I'm not sure how the wholesaling thing works, but he says his deal with the owner is done in like 2 more days. And then I just had to stop bubble, like, holy cow, if this doesn't go through, then that thing will be available. I have no idea how I would navigate that to talk to the owner. The owner, it's a 10-unit apartment building. He's asking 1.9. It's probably not worth that. The guy has sketchy records, just the owner's a bad record keeper, whatever, and he lives in one of the units.
Aha.
I don't. Maybe I'll talk to Gary offline on that.
There's a lot of questions there. What is the unit mix? Are they vacant? Do they have lease?
They're all rented.
They're all
They're all
rented.
rented. He lives in one. It's 4 2-bedroom, 1 baths and 6 1-bedroom, 1 baths.
Okay.
And
when was it built?
that I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
All right.
All
So-
that stuff down along the beach there is all probably back in the, I don't know, man, 40s, 50s, something like that.
Is it on the beach?
It's walking distance to the beach. It's
Nice.
the street directly parallel from the main drag out down by Treasure Island,
Nice. So that's
St.
190.
Pete, St. Pete area. Yep.
Yep. Do you know what the rents are?
He's saying they're about 1,900 for the 1-bedrooms and 22 something for the 2-bedrooms.
Okay.
And he said he's got people in there. They're all month to month, but he says they're all rented. Everything is full. So,
Nice. Yeah. And another question, of course, is why is he selling?
I don't know, because the wholesaler wouldn't tell me obviously why the guy's selling. But
Well,
you know,
it's interesting. That's 190,000 per unit, and it might be on par for the right price, just depending on condition. Do you know anything about condition?
no, not really. The building looks pretty decent. I could probably use some cosmetics. A lot of stuff is a little older down here. Some of the stuff has been all redone in that, but I suspect if he's telling me it's 1.9, it's 1.9 to the wholesaler, not to the owner. Right. So I know there's a big gap in there based on what the owner would want, and probably a lot less potentially, but I would have no idea how to navigate that at this point.
Well, one thing too to find out, is there any existing financing on the property? Of course, I told you earlier that I'm keen on taking over existing financing, so that would be something that I'd be interested in finding out. And then if there's not any existing financing, you know, what is the seller's needs? Because definitely that is an open door. If, let's say, it's free and clear and that seller owns it, well, maybe they only need a little bit of money, and what they really want is they don't want the headaches of management anymore.
Right.
And they don't want the responsibilities. And oh my gosh, with insurance being insane in Florida right now, that's another issue that he might be faced with on that building, because the insurance companies are saying, never mind, we're not going to do Florida. And, you know, just too much risk with all the hurricanes and what have you. So it just depends on what that seller might be facing, but it sounds like a great opportunity, Jeff.
Yeah. So, and I don't really know how to, I don't want to deal with the wholesaler per se, because, you know, he told me that he's losing the deal in the next few days. I don't know how that works, but he says he's got a couple more days to wrap this up.
He said he was going to buy it within a certain period of time, and he's not going to do it. He's going to lose his contract. He's stupid for telling you that, by the way.
I know that. That's why it's way out of my wheelhouse. But having worked with Gary for a few years, I know there's a lot of potential. And man, that thought bubble over my head started making me salivate. How could I possibly put this together? And I know enough to where I can analyze it to a certain degree, but man, to get in the door and get to that owner, because the guy lives in there, he lives on the property.
Yep.
So, yeah, I was thinking about, I'll just sit there and stalk and park there and wait till I see somebody come out that looks like the owner, but I don't know how to do this.
Well, you just talk to any tenant and say, which unit does the owner live in?
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah. If you already know the address and you already know a lot of things, but it sounds like that that wholesaler is kind of like Chatty Cathy and saying way too much.
He did tell me way too much. Not just that, but a few other things. And I thought, okay, man, you got any more properties you want to tell me all about? He did. He sent me his whole list of properties all over Florida that he's got. So,
well, Jeff, that means you're a good listener, and that's one of the key components to being a successful real estate investor, is to be a very, very good listener, to hear what people's issues are. And I run into agents all the time that tell me way more than they really ought to tell me, and I love it because it helps me put the deal together. You know?
Yeah. And I suspect too, after listening to you about the creative financing, I'm pretty sure that that owner, he wants out of that thing, or he has a solution, or he has a need that he needs solved. I don't know what that would be, but
You know,
maybe,
you never can tell. And sometimes it's drugs. You never can tell.
Right.
It's just all kinds of weird things that happen. And you find out that, yeah, they'll take whatever they need today, and then they'll take that payment plan. And Jeff, this is one of the best things ever. They'll carry back the financing. Then
Right.
at a later date, they'll discount that. And they'll
Right.
even discount it. We do partials, so that, oh, I need $5,000. Okay, well, if we let's say we do the next 4 payments, I'll give you 5,000 now, and we'll just wipe out the next 4 payments. Will that work for you? And boom, you get that deal. So that might, let's say the payments were $2,000 a piece. That's $8,000, and you only paid $5,000 for the next $8,000 worth of payments. So I love seller financing for so many reasons, because it's like the deal after the deal after the deal. So anytime you have a chance to get any owner financing, even if it's a little bit, it's a good thing.
Right. Thank you very much for your input.
Absolutely. Glad to
And
help.
I'm definitely going to be, I'm not going to be able to make it to Atlanta, but I'm going to book the VIP, because this is good stuff. I want to learn. I can't be there, but I'm going to be watching.
Brilliant. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Be glad to see you anytime.
All righty.
And, but send Gary the info. And if Gary wants me to be involved in it or whatever, I'll be happy to do it.
Yeah, I would love to get some bigger eyes on it. It's just something that dropped in my lap. I'm looking at, I told the guy I want to look at everything. I'm kind of new here and I'm feeling everything out, but I do need some better eyes. Even if it's just, hey, this isn't a good deal. I want to know if it's not and why. So,
well, we're always in that learning experience, right? So
Yep.
even if you don't do anything with it, you definitely are going to learn from it.
Sure.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Karen, what else do you
Okay.
have?
Well, I don't see any more hands, and I don't see anything else in the chat. So I think it's people's bedtime.
That's a good thing. Well, just millionairejumpstart.com/Gary. I would love to see every one of you there. And thank you very much, Gary, for giving me an opportunity to meet and greet some of your great folks. And I'm glad to see some of my great folks on here as well.
And one other question, the RIA again, if you could repeat that, we have several people asking about that again.
Yeah, Street Smart RIA, REIA.com, streetsmartria.com. And that's every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'm so glad that I'm not in conflict with Gary's night.
Right. I put that in the chat, but for some reason it's not working right now. So it could just be there's a problem with the site or
I
something.
think you might have misspelled it. I saw it pop up, but it was like I saw it misspelled or something.
Yeah, we respelled it, but
okay. Even with the respelling.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what's going on, but it could just be a temporary thing.
Yep, it might be because they are moving servers, and so they could be doing that right now as we speak. So definitely just check back tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry
Sure
about
thing.
that.
Well, guys, I knew today this was going to be one of our best classes, and we definitely, when you go over the 2-hour mark, that means it's good stuff. So if you guys could please give Lou a thank you clap or raise your hand, just give him a thank you, because
you're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
it was not really a planned thing. Just came up in the last couple of days, and we had the idea, and I said, just come on. I don't have a plan, but we'll get you in. And I'm just thrilled, and I look forward to the collaboration going forward. Because remember, guys, there's so many benefits to this relationship. More tools in your toolbox, tools you can use yourself to get you in the game of investing. A lot of you have been waiting. I mean, the market is presenting you with opportunities that you can use these tools to help create. You can use them for your investors, your owner occupants, leads to more transactions, leads to more clients. Just imagine what your clients are going to think after working with you on one of these. They never get this from traditional agents. You got a friend for life. They'll do multiple transactions with you guys. And you can attract other agents too. Believe me, the way the market's going, more agents are going to be looking for these answers. and you've got them.
You know, I'm
know,
glad you brought that
so-
up too, Gary. That is just perfect because when the market changes, you find out who the solid agents are. They're the ones that stick around. The other ones just disappear into the woodwork, and actually makes the business a little bit more attractive. You know, when that happens, but we are going into turmoil. There are a much larger number of defaults occurring right now. So those pictures that Gary was showing you from the past about those deals, well, those markets are much looser now. Days on markets have increased, and default rates are up. So keep your eyes and ears open for that.
Yeah. Here, I'll leave you with this, guys. So this is as of today. All right. Let's let this report load. But I forgot about this. I had it up on my computer. All right. So I'm going to scroll down to get to the fast part. Look at what's happening in the top 25 markets. Okay. Some are still having slight price increases. Some are doing pretty good, like Miami, Florida. I mean, people are just pouring down there in droves. But look at
They're leaving New
LA.
York.
Yep, absolutely. LA's in a negative. Dallas and Houston, they grew too fast. They're now in a negative, right? Look at this. Phoenix down
Whoop.
almost 5%. Look at San Francisco down over 6%, right? Riverside, that's where Diane you are. You
Yep.
know, it went up too fast. I know one of my agents out there, Anita Davis, moved out there. Thankfully, she got there when she did. Seattle's dropping. Denver's dropping. Again, went up too fast. San Antonio, Portland, Oregon. See, Texas is interesting. It's still high demand. A lot's going up and a lot's going down. But look at these areas here in the red. Austin, Texas, down 11.3%, right? Boise, Idaho, San Francisco again, Jackson, Mississippi, Vegas, down 5%, Phoenix, we mentioned that, Sacramento, Stockton, Seattle, Denver. You know, the writing is on the wall. There's more to this report. You can get it on Bigger Pockets. It's talking about the economy and layoffs and things like that. And again, this is not meant to alarm you or scare you. Just, just, just know that it's meant to enlighten you and prepare you for what's coming on the road. The key is to not panic. It's not time to panic. It's time to prepare. In the last recession, guys, final thought of the night. I started my brokerage January 2008, right when the economy was just, I mean, dropping like a rock. It was rough. Half the agents left the business. My brokerage grew sixfold in the first years of the recession because we had investor relationships already in place. We knew how to do these deals. This is stuff Lou and I learned back in the 80s. You had to be creative in the 80s because you couldn't afford the bank loans. They were 18%. But this all was in the last recession, we grew sixfold because of the stuff that Lou and I are talking about here. That's just good old fashioned horse sense, facts, and you've got to be realistic. You can't put your head in the sand. This is the time to prepare. Don't let yourself fall into the vortex of the news. Turn that crap off and focus on learning these techniques so that you can not just survive but thrive.
Giselle, thank you
Okay.
for putting that into the chat. Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel, so thank you for finding that and putting it in the chat. That's sweet. I appreciate that. But I 100% underscore what Gary said. You know, in down times, we thrive as real estate investors, absolutely thrive. And our program is called the Path to Home Ownership. And it thrives even more because people that used to be able to qualify for a loan can't anymore because the interest rates have increased. Good people, good jobs, good income, good down payments, but can't qualify anymore. And we step in, we become the bank for them. They love us, we love them, and we make money for a long time. So you got these are kind of like the perfect storm kind of things going on where markets are going down and customers are going up. So get on board, baby. It's all good.
Yep, you got it. Well, listen, guys, I know this has been a long one, but I appreciate you sticking it out and learning and taking notes. I can see some of your writing. Well, the next Monday Night Live, I suggest you join Lou next Sunday night. Okay, every Sunday night, go to the March event. And if you haven't set up a one-on-one for more than a couple of weeks, please set up a one-on-one with me. And if you are a guest, you can do the same thing. Camille, I'm gathering you're already working with Lou. You're welcome to anything we've got on the Global Investor Agent team. Camille, anybody that's here because of Lou, we have an open door policy with that kind of stuff. You know, we're here to
Thanks.
serve. So you're very welcome.
And thanks,
Yep.
Karen, for inviting me.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Right.
I'm glad you came.
You know, Camille, you were on last night, weren't you?
Uh-huh. I was on last night, yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Camille
It's good to see
rarely
you.
misses it.
Yeah, and I go to bed at 9 o'clock, so Luke kills me Sunday night. I have to drink espresso and everything else to try to make it and stay awake.
I don't go to bed that early, but I'm with you, girl.
Yeah.
The more you get to know Lou, the closer you get with him, he'll share his secrets with you. He's got endless energy.
Oh, yeah.
We got the endless energy program. It's a good thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, Lou, thank you again personally for doing this. I mean, I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to many, many more, you know?
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here tonight.
You got it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good
You
night,
guys take care of yourselves. God bless you and your families. And we'll see you next one-on-one in next class.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank
Gary,
you.
thanks,
Everyone.
Lou. Good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
both of you.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.